Hello, Luke here. I would just like to take a moment to disclose upfront that we sometimes talk about sensitive topics in our podcasts, and in fairness to our audience, we will try our best to put specific warnings in the descriptions of each episode. Now on with the show.
Swamp Muddy invaded by a talking donkey. Big bad wolf sleeping in my bed. Everyone was trying to bum 'cause a short little scum kicked them out by the name of Lord Fourquad. Well, I just got summoned, didn't see that coming. To save my swamp, gotta be ruthless and cunning. Ogres are layered like onions. Want a peace and quiet, gotta get me some. Set up a crew, get Fiona free. Taking on some death-defying feats. Moving fast, not slow. Traveling to and fro. Hey now, you're an ogre, get your swamp back to stay. Hey now, you're an ogre, I'll get your flirt on, get laid. This movie never gets old. Single greatest story ever told.
Oh, good job, baby.
Yeah, it was Allstar by Smash Mouth. Yeah, I fucked up. That's okay. You know, we stumble, we keep going.
That might be the best intro.
Just like Shrek, we pick ourselves up, you know? Welcome to Nostalgia Killers Podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky. A monster and a yapping ass kidnap a shut-in for a forced marriage to a tiny tyrant, as Saturday Night Live meets Sunday night bedtime stories in Shrek. My name is Chuck Starzenski, once again, almost as always, joined by Javier Martinez.
The mean, green, stinky swamp machine himself.
And our resident Shrek aficionado, Lauren Heney.
I am so happy to be here. What a treat.
And as always, stay tuned for the end of the pod, where we will do our Sonic Death Monkey Top 5, sponsored by Goose and Fern, a lovely English pub here in Santa Rosa, California. And today's Sonic Death Monkey Top 5 are top 5 movie characters you'd immediately kick out of your swamp. And as always, this is our honorary Sam Koffler spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this movie that came out some 20 years ago, be warned, spoilers are ahead. You know, came out in 2001, so a lot of listeners might actually not have been born. Yeah.
Oh, my chest.
But let's kick things off. Lauren, this movie is so near and dear to your heart. What does this movie mean to you?
It means everything to me, honestly. I can't even remember seeing it for the first time. I feel like it's always just been kind of a part of my life. I would have been 6 when it came out. I don't know. This is one of those movies that I feel like is just like better and better every time you see it. The time we watched it this week, and I hadn't seen it for a couple of years, and it was just, you know, made me laugh so hard. And I actually caught things that I hadn't caught before. And like, I feel like that's like the mark of a really good movie, is when it keeps giving you new things to contemplate.
Yeah. I saw this in theaters too. I was a little older. I might have been like 9, probably. The one thing I remember, even as a child, knowing that this film was like truly special. Like, and I knew that because the adults were like laughing just as hard, if not harder than the kids. And like I said, even at that age, I was like, oh, like that means something. Like I'm watching something amazing, you know? Yeah, I mean, you know, it was one of those movies where, you know, it got quoted nonstop in school, like, you know, during recess, like everybody was fucking quoting Shrek like all the time. And then some years later, when my youngest sister Miranda was born, this was one of the 4 movies that she played nonstop, 24 hours, like on the DVD player, just in loop. And again, it just never got old. Mm-hmm. And, you know, again, that's how you know, like, this movie fucking slaps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was 12 when it came out, and I instantly wrote it off because I was like, I'm a preteen. This is a kid's movie. I remember, like, yeah, kids around the schoolyard, and like a really good friend of mine just being like, oh, no, like, you have to see Shrek. You have to see it. And I was like, oh, I like missed it because it was a summer movie. So the second it came out on VHS, DVD, rented it, fell in love instantly. I was like, okay, yeah, this is a bona fide classic here. And yeah, like Lauren said, it has aged like a fine wine. And it's like, there are still, like, it was still we were cracking up watching this movie that I've seen maybe easily 100 times. Yeah. And I'm still just like finding, like she said, new nuances, little side jokes, like little characters, like doing little things in the background that maybe I just didn't catch, like on the, you know, 80th viewing until now.
Yeah. No, it's funny. So I saw it like recently, and so last night when I went to put it in to rewatch for the podcast, my wife, you know, she asked me, "Oh, are you guys doing Shrek for the podcast? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, do you have to watch it again? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, yeah, well, we just saw this. And I was like, yes. And she's like, so you're going to rewatch it? And I was like, why the fuck would I not? Like, what do you mean? What is going on? I'm like, yes, I'm going to rewatch it. And she's like, oh, okay. So she kind of like plopped down on the couch next to me. And
I just like, yeah.
Did she watch it with you?
Yeah, she did. She
Oh,
did.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I was like thinking it was going to be like, sick, I guess I'm going to bed at 7 o'clock. And slams the bedroom door. But yeah, Lauren, you were worried about, me stealing everything from you, so I'm gonna let you go first. What are your favorite scenes?
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword watching it with the same person who's going to be on the podcast with you, because you see when they're taking their notes too, and you're like, God damn it.
Okay.
Or you're just laughing too hard at the same thing. It's also hard not to, I think, like commentate on what you're seeing, you know what I mean? And be like, oh my God, did you see that and that? Which I definitely did throughout the movie too. I was joking, they're all really funny scenes generally across the board, but some of my favorites would probably be the Gingy torture scene going into the Magic Mirror dating show. I think that's kind of the first scene in the movie where you really get like a super strong sense of like, this is the humor of the entire movie. It's kind of like getting into the story, but this is just non-stop laugh after laugh, visual gags, the references, all of it. It's just funny, hilarious, actually.
Yeah. How about you, Javi?
Yeah, I mean, I think, kind of like you were, referencing, I mean, you could pick any scene in this movie as like your favorite scene, and I don't think anybody would be like, oh, that's your favorite scene? And I'd be like, oh yeah, I totally get it. Not mine, but I get it. So for example, like I had the WWE, showdown, the little gladiator-esque thing going on, Shrek fighting all the potential would-be heroes. Yeah, that's great. I remember loving that as a kid, and still to this day, every time I watch it, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is so fun.
Give 'em the chair.
Yeah, I love that. I always forget about that. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys took the two greatest scenes in the entire film. But just really quick, I want to get back on those. The fucking Magic Mirror dating game is so good.
Yep.
It's just also, that is like pound for pound loaded with like some of the gnarlier jokes in the movie.
Though she lives with 7 men, she ain't easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a whoa. Okay, but this is a kids movie? Are we sure this is a kids movie? And like, yeah, just the whole entrance to Dulock, where it's like, this place is kind of creepy and uninhabited, and then you've got the guy in the mascot hood trying to run away from an ogre, and he has to use the ticketing line because he works for the park, so he's just like, and the entire like
the marionette, like, welcome to Dulock.
Exactly, the like borderline It's a Small World kind of, yeah. It's like, make sure you wipe your face.
Yeah, I was singing along to that like word for word when I was playing.
But yeah, aside from those scenes, like definitely like the Robin Hood scene fucking gets me every time.
Yeah.
So good. Like, just because he just comes in just like, and that's kind of like, it's fun because you never see Robin Hood painted in that light either. He's always just such a hero, even if he is a braggart warrior kind of character. You're always just like, oh yeah, it's Robin Hood. He's noble. Show some goddamn respect. And then it's like, no, he's a weird little creepy thief that hangs out in the woods with some other gangsters. Yeah, he's probably kind of a slumlord.
I think it's notable in the movie that they never call him Robin Hood. He's always Monsieur Hood.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have picked this in the past, but I really like the sequence there. I think it's the second day where they're making their way, and it's like a getting to know you, no dialogue sequence, and they're like, you see them start to kind of like each other, and they blow up the like balloon animals. I'm using air quotes here, and it's just like very sweet, and like you just small touches in the animation where they like show a little smile or like a brush of the hand and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, this movie's
this is a fucking romance.
Oh, it's so well done. Let me just shout out the voice work. Like the voice work in this film is probably like the best voice work like ever, because even the side characters, like everybody has like, that 100%, you got it. Fucking Pinocchio's little wow, that's amazing. The blind mice being fucking British is amazing. Gingy's voice, the wolf having the deep ass voice, it's all great.
Everyone's just going for, everyone's yes-anding and going for it. Like, I just love that, this is a kid, quote unquote kids movie, and it's just like, no, I think you should do a gay German tourist as one of the three little pigs. I think that's a great character choice. And then it's like, okay, I guess it is. Yeah, I mean, it is.
Only hoofed, only poofed, only signed an eviction notice. That fucking kills me.
I know. Oh yeah, I mean it's not even a scene. It's it's just all the little jokes like that. That's another. I guess if we're gonna try and put that into a scene, I love the selling off of all the fairy tale creatures.
Oh,
just because there's so many little at the very beginning. There's so many little tiny jokes there,
background and stuff. Yeah,
like fucking
the cage is too small.
Yeah, my cage is too small for Goldilocks and the Three Bears is so fucking good.
And then he can fly. He can fly.
Selling off Pinocchio. It's like, all right, a haunted toy.
I also really like Fiona doing opera in the woods with the bird hard cut
Christ.
to breakfast.
Yeah.
It's just good, really fucking funny stuff.
Oh, you thought the blown up bird was fucked up? Well, now we're gonna cook its babies.
Yeah, exactly.
All of the jokes about Farquaad overcompensating.
Oh,
so and every it's like they're they're a syllable away from saying he has a small cock every single time.
Looking at the stars scene.
Oh yeah,
where the film takes that turn of hey, it's not all just gags and jokes. It's we really have a message here. You're wow, that's fucking amazing, and it's not it's just hammy enough, without being too, it's stupid. It's oh, okay, I like it. All right, I'm gonna and we get that vulnerability from Shrek, when he opens himself up to Donkey. And
I think there is a real sweetness undercurrent, and I'm not going to be ashamed to admit that I did cry just a little bit at the end.
Why would you be ashamed?
I don't know. Emotions are weakness, I guess. The overall message of, you are more than your appearance and that kind of thing, which is very much one of the problems with a lot of Disney movies. But also that bond of friendship and being there even when somebody was an asshole to you. You can be truthful with your friends, and
there's always time to make amends.
Which, by the way, so that misunderstanding of Shrek overhearing that conversation, that's got to be one of the most heartbreaking, so well done. Walking in at the exact wrong moment and hearing the wrong thing. It's
And it's such an overdone trope, but it works here because there's so many other movies that try that trope and fall flat. Just off the top of my head, The Wedding Singer. There's the bit where he's gonna go finally talk to Drew Barrymore about his feelings, and then he sees her being happy in the mirror. She could be happy in the she's allowed to be happy in the mirror. That's such a weak example of that. He's oh man, she's not crying, so I guess she doesn't love me.
Right. And it's here it's no, what else could he possibly be thinking she's talking about?
Yeah.
Never would he imagine that she's referencing herself.
Yeah. Also, it's well established. They've been building to this point as this is why he is a mean ogre, is because he, feels judged and has to protect himself basically with this facade. And to hear that the person he really cares about thinks or feels all of the things that he feels the most upset or insecure about. That's heartbreaking shit.
Yeah.
It's sad.
And again, it's just so well done because then, it continues on to the next morning. Then when he kind of repeats it back to her, and now she's misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And so you're you said it yourself. And she's oh, I thought it wouldn't matter. Of course that matters to me. And it's oh,
yeah.
Guys, stop.
Just talk to each other.
Exactly. I was going to say, I'm going to play a relationship therapist for all of our listeners. Communication is the most important thing in a relationship. Just talk to your partner.
I love the opening credits, how gross they are, and they're so creative and fun, and the music.
I would argue, you mentioned that the magic mirror / Gingy scene sets the tone. I would argue that the opening credits set the tone. Just because you do get literally the classic storybook being read to you, so many 80s Disney movies, like Cinderella and all that kind of stuff. And then he literally wipes his ass with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just this is not what this movie's going to be.
I guess I'll amend that comment and say it solidifies the tone.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Opening credits, just fun. Really gross.
Yeah.
Just delightful.
Love I know. I fucking hate grubs and maggots and stuff. And I know it's CGI, but I still am ugh, every time I see John Lithgow's title card, because it's just a bunch of crawling maggots. Which
the CGI, the animation, it holds up surprisingly well.
Yeah.
There's one or two things where I'm okay, that water reflection is a little too shiny.
Yeah.
It's a little too, blown out. Other than that,
they made some solid choices with what to focus on and what not to, because it's it does hold up.
The last thing I have to get in, just super backtracking to one of the first things we talked about, just because it's my favorite line in the whole fucking movie, that to this day, like I have to pause it and just laugh my ass off. Is during the contestant dating show, right? It's like pick number 3, my lord.
And he's putting up the 2
fingers. Yeah, it's the funniest fucking thing.
Do you guys have any nitpicks?
I have no nitpicks.
Damn.
I did not write down a single nitpick.
I've got 2, but it's just because I was trying so hard to find something.
I also tried to find something.
I have like one that's like maybe it's like I guess that would be my nitpick.
Yeah.
I guess it was the first time I thought about it a little too hard, which was when they're eating the wheat rats. And I'm like, this is really fucked up. They shouldn't be eating animals at all. Like, donkey is a talking animal. This wood rat probably talked to them before, because all of the animals are talking in this. Are they, or is it just the fairy tale ones?
But it's Shrek though.
Yeah.
Shrek doesn't give a fuck.
I guess.
And also, I think it's just the fairy tale creatures, because that's why Donkey is up for sale, because he's a talking donkey.
Yeah, it's just like, where is that line?
Right?
So I thought about it a little too hard, and it upset me a little bit. The only other thing is, like, some of Shrek's lines to Donkey were like, does it have to be that mean, in my head? And I think that's just like a personal, like, that is something that like my mom would say, like, why are they being so mean to each other? And I guess it's just because I have a lot of affection for both of those characters. I'm like, it's really played like the like violence and like intimidation and mean-spiritedness can get played for like such laughs as opposed to like actually being funny, I guess. I don't know. Mean-spirited, some of them. Honestly, most of it's not. And also that's who Shrek is as a character, so this isn't really a nitpick. I'm talking myself out of it.
There you go. Yeah, I've only got one real nitpick, and it's just because the movie is over 20 years old. The Matrix joke that happens during the Robin Hood fight is just outdated in an otherwise nearly timeless film.
Okay.
Like, that is one of the only things that happens in the movie that, like, if you were someone, born in 2001 watching this movie, you might be like, why did she freeze and why did the camera spin kind of thing?
Yeah, I would argue that actually like looks cool enough though.
Oh, it looks
cool.
cool.
Well, I think it looks cool enough where like even if you obviously don't get the reference because you're not old as fuck, like you're like, oh, fuck yeah, she's in midair. Like, that looks sick.
Yeah, I would say that's like the only thing though that is not completely timeless. That's the only gag that where they were like, hell yeah, the Matrix is popular, let's pick on it kind of thing. And again, this is like hunting for nitpicks.
For sure.
I will back up what Javi said because I didn't see the Matrix until way after I'd seen Shrek.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know that reference. And I just thought it was a funny thing that she was floating up in the air, fixes her hair, and then kicks him. Like, it's a funny
it's a funny gag.
And it looks cool.
And then this isn't even a nitpick. It's a nitpick for other movies. Because this movie does it well, I would argue. But it laid the groundwork for like, fuck, this is what every DreamWorks movie is going to be now. Just too many pop song montages. And I fucking love montages in movies. And they all work in this movie.
Yeah.
But this is where like animation studios, kind of start doing the minion-y Despicable Me thing of just like, wait a minute, instead of a plot point here, why don't we have like a whole breakdown of like, I like to move it in Madagascar, as opposed to like an actual thing happening.
Yeah.
But it works here. So this isn't even a nitpick for this movie. This isn't just like, oh, they did that thing and now everyone has to copy it. Yeah.
My only, again, before hunting, is like, there's like, and I think it's only like 2 that I counted, like 2 lines that like kind of don't work for me, or that it's kind of like, okay, like, haha, like you're kind of wearing the joke then. I think it was like the 2 times that like Shrek referred to Donkey as like an ass. I was like, well, I have to save my ass. I was like, ha. Okay.
Yeah, but if you were like 7, Javi,
you're like, it was fucking.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
Like,
you're like, oh, he said a swear, but not really. Oh my god,
like, I know that word. Yeah.
All right, on to rainy day double features. Yeah, what would you guys pair Shrek with?
Shrek 2.
That's what I had. It's easy. There's literally nothing else I want to watch after Shrek except Shrek 2.
I literally was like, I really just want to put on Shrek 2 right now. It was like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, Lauren's like, can we do it? And I was like, I don't think we can, dude. Like, you got to be up early. Yeah, exactly.
Which, if my memory serves me correct, I do believe I like Shrek 2 better than Shrek.
I agree.
Shrek 2 is a superior film, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of the few like sequels that actually is better.
Surpasses.
Yeah.
That would be a good podcast. Just, we could do a couple of them.
Oh, no. Like, I mean, we just did Batman's back-to-back. Fuck it. We could do Shrek's back-to-back.
No, I was thinking of like a episode about sequels that surpass the original.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of them
No,
that come
it's
to
like
mind.
Shrek 2, Terminator 2. There's only like a handful. But for my rainy day pairing, I said Shrek Retold.
Oh.
So if you're not aware, it's a fan-made fever dream. It's available for free on YouTube, where it's fantastic. Literally like 100 different artists came together to remake their favorite scenes from Shrek in their own style. So it is like almost unwatchable at times because you are like jumping from like some guy with like literal spirit Halloween green face paint sitting in the back of his like apartment, you know, just being like donkey, da da da, and then it'll hard cut to like beautiful animation that surpasses the original movie. And then that will hard cut to, once again, like literal stick figures, you know, having an argument.
Mm-hmm. It's really entertaining, and it is frame for frame. So it's an interesting watch for sure.
Yeah.
Did
Also,
they do the second one?
I was going to say, I don't know when this episode's going to come out, but as of now, you know, Shrek Retold, the sequel, should be out in mid-September.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. On to this movie's cocktail, which I already apologized to our guests about. Javi just took the first little sip of...
Unintentionally, I promise you I was not trying to sniff it, but...
No, Lauren literally almost vomited when she smelled it. In honor of Shrek, we're drinking the Swamp-tini. So we've got 3 ounces of swamp gin. So I took some London Dry gin and I infused it overnight with onions, garlic, cilantro, a little salt and pepper, soy sauce, olive oil, and a pinch of cilantro for color. So you mix all those ingredients and set them up overnight in the freezer, strain everything off. And then with your swamp gin, you mix that with classic martini bill, a little ½ ounce of dry vermouth. Javier, don't vomit. And pour it into a chilled glass and sip as you scare everyone out of your swamp with your gnarly onion breath. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like if you've ever wanted to drink a French onion sun chip. That is literally what it tastes like. It's foul. It's a little fucked up.
I feel so slighted by this because the original pitch, I am a fan of martinis. I am a fan of like a more savory martini. And he's like, oh, babe, this is your episode. This is Shrek. It's like tail end. This is my pick. It's my birthday pick. He's like, we're going to do a savory martini for you. And then he presented this monstrosity, no pun intended, to me. And it is one of the more upsetting things that I've smelled recently.
I mean, I think the huge flaw was doing raw onion.
Yeah.
I should have caramelized them, like, to give them some sweetness, and, like, I should have also I was like, what if it's not oniony enough for the Shrek martini?
No, I think that you could do, like, maybe, like, 2, like, little slivers of onion, and that would get through.
I think I could have, like, fucking expressed the onion on the glass. Like, I could have cut a piece of onion and just, like, rubbed it on the cup. Yeah. And that would have been enough onion.
Yeah, or like a little pickled onion or something like that.
Anything else.
Jesus
I just really hate that it lingers. I can't close my mouth because every time I close it, I fucking taste it again.
I don't think this onion is coming out of my mouth like it is now a part of me.
No, yeah.
I used to be coming out through my pores all fucking day, especially with this heat. Just, for listeners, it is hot as fuck today, Sonoma County, so.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a little ad break, and we're all going to, gargle some mouthwash. We'll be back for Act 2 in a second.
I'm going to chug this real quick.
Do it. Ad break! And we're back with everyone's favorite segment, Nostalgia Killers Trivia. It's time to see if we can clean up house or pack it up and head back like a mouse. I don't know. The gin is starting to hit. And I'm going to kick it over to Lauren Heney, who is hosting trivia. This is our Nostalgia Killers first. We have a guest doing trivia because she is such a Shrek aficionado. She would have swept.
I also just wanted to do it. It sounded fun. Alrighty, B-tier fairy tale creatures, let's kick it off. My first question is, it is well known that Chris Farley was originally cast as Shrek before he passed away in 1997. Over the 10 years of development, what actor was never attached to Shrek? A. David Spade. B. Nicolas Cage. C. Alan Rickman. or D, Bill Murray?
I feel like the obvious answer is Alan Rickman, but I feel like that might be a red herring. But I'm still going to go with it.
I'm going to also go Alan Rickman.
And you are both incorrect.
Oh.
David Spade has never been attached to the Shrek movies. Nicolas Cage allegedly turned down the role of Shrek because he didn't want to be thought of as an ugly ogre, specifically to children. Alan Rickman turned down the role of Lord Farquaad to play Severus Snape in the Harry Potter movies. And Bill Murray was part of Steven Spielberg, who had originally acquired the book rights, was part of his original cast pitch, which included Steve Martin as Shrek and Bill Murray as Donkey.
Oh, see, I guess that was a beautiful red herring, because I just assumed, I was like, well, David Spade and Chris Farley, that's like peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, thank you. I did my best. Yeah. True or false? Shrek is oh my god.
Shrek is a pervert?
True.
I think knocking back that little.
Yeah, I think Onion Gin is going to make the rest of this pod very interesting.
I'm just going to take it again, and maybe you'll feel like cutting that part out.
I think I'm going to leave it in.
All right. Question number 2. True or false? Shrek is preserved in the Library of Congress's National Film Registry.
True.
True. He's a treasure.
Correct. It is true. It was added in 2020 for being a culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant film. Question number 3. Shrek shares writers with another Nostalgia Killers movies previously covered. Can you name the writers and the movie?
I'm going to say Air Force One. I'm just going to say, like, they write just fucking, like, blockbusters.
Pirates.
Yes, ding, 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 Javier.
Damn it.
Go ahead and take a card. The writers are Ted Elliott and Terry Ruscio, who were the team also credited with Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, in addition to other movies that I hope to cover someday on this podcast, including the Zorro movies.
Yep.
Road to El Dorado, and both National Treasures.
That tracks. So they just write action adventures with, like, really zingy one-liners.
Yeah.
And then they have their one piece of shit, I believe, which is the Godzilla 99.
Oh.
Which is, wow, that's what blew me away. I was like,
Whoosh.
how?
That'll be on the show soon, too.
This is another true or false. Shrek is an Academy Award-winning movie.
It's got to be true, because it's got to be, like, sound editing or, like, some kind of animation-y sort of thing.
Yeah, true.
It is true. You will both go ahead and take a card, but not for the categories you guys said. Shrek was the first ever Best Animated Feature winner because the award was introduced during this year. It was also nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay at the Academy Awards, and additionally, it was the first animated movie to be screened at Cannes since
shit.
Peter Pan in 1953.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you it was, like, just booed at Cannes, just because it's Cannes. I'm sure they're like, what is this? Oh, like, they insult my puffy.
It is a prestigious film. Shrek wasn't always intended to be a big green fighting machine. What color was he originally supposed to be? This is a multiple choice question. A, bright blueberry blue. B, a sickly yellow-orange color. C, a magenta red. Or D, a swampy muddy brown.
I go D, swampy muddy brown.
B, sickly orange yellow.
And you are both incorrect.
What?
Yes. The answer is C, a magenta red, inspired by ogres in Icelandic mythology, but the color proved too difficult to animate and render effectively.
Oh, yeah, because I just assumed because it's, like, based on a book, so I was like, I've, like, read the book, the kid's book, and, like, he is, like,
he is green,
yeah.
In the book, but they, I guess, wanted to pay some homage to some Icelandic mythology originally and tried to do a magenta red, so there you go.
Total tangent. Anytime white dudes are into, like, Icelandic or Nordic shit, I'm always like, that's a huge red flag. That's like, I know they're totally different, but, like, toeing the line of, like, some belief systems. So I'm like, oh, okay.
As someone who has, like, an 88 tattooed on their body, maybe you should, like, hold it off a little bit, you know?
Hey, you know what?
And moving on, question number 6. What is the name of Lord Farquaad's executioner?
Thelonious.
Ding, ding, ding. You have a winner here.
Damn.
I knew that was going to be too easy.
I had no idea.
I was going to do a multiple choice, but you just went off right off the bat. Yeah. Alrighty. Number 7. Which of the following sight gags is not included in Shrek? Number 1. Dragon has a cookbook that includes choice cuts and a diagram of a chopped up knight in her castle. Her lair, I should say. Number 2, a rendering of Botticelli's Birth of Venus featuring Lord Farquaad. 3, an eyeball used as a garnish in Shrek's Martini. Or 4, the big bad wolf is reading Pork Illustrated.
A.
I'm going to go D.
Chuck is correct.
Hell yeah.
The big bad wolf is actually reading Pork Illustrated in Shrek 2.
I was like, no, that's in there. Fuck off. Fuck off.
The rest of them are featured in the movie.
Wow, I don't remember the dragon one.
The Birth of Venus featuring Lord Farquaad is behind him in bed as he's like kind of lusting over Fiona. And it was the first time I had ever clocked it. And it absolutely made me just die. All right. Question number 8, true or false? Before landing on Smash Mouth's Allstar, DreamWorks commissioned an original song for the opening credits.
True.
Just to say the opposite, I'm going to go false.
Chuck is correct. It is true. Go ahead and take a card,
Yeah.
Chuck. Smash Mouth's All-Star was intended only to be used as a placeholder. The song, which was thought to be overplayed at the time.
I mean, thought correctly.
It was. They didn't think it would work in the long run. But no matter how many different songs the music team tried, it always worked better or best with All-Star. But yeah, they did go as far as having some guy essentially make like a knockoff version of All-Star in the same beats per minute and style, and it just was not as good. So they ended up.
Yeah, that guy is named Chuck Starzenski. Hey now, you're an Ogar.
Did you listen to this podcast?
Yeah.
The fact that this movie starts with Smash Mouth and ends with fucking Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Right? The last song is also Smash Mouth.
Oh, that's a Smash Mouth
yeah,
song?
Unbeliever,
It is.
yeah.
Oh, okay, because I literally,
Yeah.
the credits rolled, and I was like, what is this song? This
No,
song is
not the one in the end credits.
Oh,
Sorry,
oh.
the one that Donkey sings at the end.
Yeah.
He's singing Believer. I'm a believer.
Well, I mean, that's a
on her
Monkeys
face.
song.
It is, but it's sung by Smash Mouth. It's covered by them.
Yeah.
Which was actually something that got worked in later in the... I am pulling a lot of my facts from a wonderful couple of episodes on another podcast called What Went Wrong. Highly recommend it. And they really detail the musical journey that they went on with this movie. And it's well worth the 2-episode listen that they've got going on over there. Question number 9. Shrek wasn't always going to live in a swamp. Can you name one of the other places that he was potentially going to live?
I'm going to say they were going to do like a riff on Briar Rabbit or something like that, maybe, because that's like a classic like fairy tale. So I'm going to say like a thorn patch.
Let's go with an island.
You're both incorrect. This is kind of a weird one, so I apologize. He was potentially going to live in like a garbage dump, like a rubbish heap.
Okay.
That tracks.
And then very early versions of the script also included Shrek's parents and had him living at home for the beginning of his hero's journey, and they basically kick him out. So those are the 2 options I would have accepted. And for my final question, as you know, Shrek is based on a children's book of the same name published in 1990, but it also has ties to other literary works. Which of the following does not contain a direct link to Shrek lore? The Old English epic poem Beowulf, Homer's The Odyssey, Norwegian playwright Henrik Ibsen's work Peer Gynt, or the Norse myth of the death of Baldar?
Holy shit.
Wow. I want to say the only one I'm sure that is Beowulf, but even that I'm just pulling out of my ass. But I swear for some reason in the recess of my mind, I'm like, no, dude, Beowulf is like part of it, you know? I'm going to go with the third option, because that's the only one that I did not even remotely recognize.
You're going for the Henrik Ibsen play.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the 4th one, because again, I don't know what that is.
Chuck is correct.
Hey, blind guessing, everyone.
So Beowulf is an Old English epic poem that has mention or revolves around one of the plots is the ogre Grendel. In Homer's The Odyssey, which is an ancient Greek poem, there's the one-eyed ogre or giant Polyphemus. And in Norwegian playwright Henrik Ibsen's work, Peer Gynt, the title character describes himself as an onion and uses the same analogy that Shrek does in the movie.
Oh, no way.
Whoa.
That's like the most direct. Fuck.
I fucking love that, by the way. I love that, like, they're writing dick and fart jokes, and then they're like, why don't we reference a classic Ibsen play and just take his stanza?
I really just wanted to work that fact into it. So
Because that's incredible.
Thank you for bearing with me on that. And thank you so much for playing Nostalgia Killers Trivia. It's been a pleasure and an honor to host this week.
Congratulations, Chuck.
Oh my God,
yeah.
I finally won one. I think I've won, like, this is my second one, I think, this season. I have to double check the stats. Oh, thank you so much for hosting, Lauren. And also, I'm going to use this as a beautiful segue to say thank you so much to our executive producer, Addie Martinez. Daddy, Addie, you are the shining princess in our magic mirror. You know, we wouldn't even ever think about another option. Snow White can kick rocks. Forget Cinderella. Forget Fiona. It's only Addie Martinez. If you would like to be the poison apple of our eyes, you can subscribe to us on Patreon at Nostalgia Killers Podcast on patreon.com. And with that, we will take our second ad break. Ad break number 2. And we're back with Act 3, the award categories. And we start things off with my new band name. Memorable quotes or references that would make cool, edgy band names, song titles, or albums. And what would they be?
I've embraced the category finally. I think I just needed the right movie, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So I can do one or I can do all three that I have. It's up to you.
If they link together, like if it's like, you know, song, da-da-da, then do all three.
Okay. My first one is Dead Broad Off the Table. They are a choir for a necrophilia support group.
Holy shit. What the fuck?
I mean, yeah.
That's incredible.
My second one is Ha de la Roo La La, which is a French quartet that covers queer pop songs. And then my third and final one is Wake Up and Smell the Pheromones, which is horny ska.
Fuck. All right, well, yeah, we haven't gone yet, but you won.
I totally forgot to put genres for mine, so you guys can hop in and help me out. But my first one is Donkey Sex Dream, and that's a reference to that whatever Donkey was dreaming about, when he's like, oh, baby, I said I like it like that. That would be a giant, which I know is pretty similar to like two other bands that already kind of exist, but...
Like They Might Be Giants?
Yeah, and there's another one too, but I...
Young the Giant is something I'm thinking of.
Maybe, yeah. And then I have Molly Fletcher, who is an actual... I had to look it up, and I was like, is that an actual person? But that's in reference to when Shrek is throwing Donkey up to peek in on the wedding, and instead of saying motherfucker, he says, Molly Fletcher, they already said it. And I was like, Molly Fletcher, that sounds like, you know, some kind of folk band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see it being...
See, it'd be like an Irish...
Like Flogging Molly.
Flogging Molly kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donkey Sex Dream is definitely like a just really aggressive, gritty, like glitchy dubstep group.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I was thinking more of like actual like high school like garage band.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Just teenagers in a garage somewhere.
That works, yeah.
No one took it, so I'm so proud. I've got Bloodnut the Flatulent.
Fuck.
That's low hanging fruit.
I know.
I saw you write it down.
That's amazing.
That's my prog metal band. With their hit album, Unwanted Physical Contact. Is what Donkey says to Dragon the first time they meet. Whoa, that is unwanted physical contact. And we have the same song, Lauren. We got Dead Broad, and then in parentheses, Off the Table.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to Roger Deakins' Would Be Proud Award for Cinematography.
I wrote down the full moon shot when they're having their heart-to-heart.
It's
The
beautiful.
Astro Girlies Deep Tonks. It's just a beautiful shot at the giant full moon and them silhouetted with the stars behind it. Really pretty. But there are a lot of fucking awesome shots in this movie.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. I almost put that. Yeah. I had the fading transitions when they're comparing Shrek and Fiona during the sad Hallelujah montage.
Oh, yeah.
Cutting back and forth, like, which is that's one of my favorite scenes, by the way, too. I didn't mention it, but it's a good use of Hallelujah.
Yeah. I do not like that song, but it fits for this movie.
Well, I think this movie brought it back into like popularity in a way that was like, you know, it had been done several times before by various people. Myself, am partial to the Jeff Buckley version.
Yeah, I went for very low-hanging fruit. I just said the slow-mo out of the Dragon's Keep when they're running. It's just, you know, it's just a classic montage, classic action movie kind of trope of like run and jump away from the explosion, but it works.
Yeah. I also did put down the Matrix move too as kind of like an honorary thing.
Yeah.
The camera moves around her too. Well, I don't know.
Pretty good.
I like that one too.
Is that Channing Tatum in a dog collar? It's an award for an actor in an unexpected cameo. This one was hard.
Yeah.
Did you guys have anything?
I didn't put anything down.
I think we have the same one, which is Vincent Cassel as Monsieur Hood.
Yeah, Vincent Cassel as Monsieur Hood. He is a phenomenal French actor who's in a bunch of stuff like Black Swan.
Right.
Craziest thing he's in Irreversible, the Gaspar Noé movie.
He's in Ocean's 12 too as their like foil villain.
Hans Gruber Deathfall. Does anyone have anything other than Farquaad being eaten?
No.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, they're not antagonists per se, but I do like the remains of like all the knights in Dragon's kind of lair. You know, like there's like the guy like whose shadow is burnt into the wall, and there's like the two little legs that are still in the metal shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got a good laugh out of my wife. Why Luke likes Waterworld? A controversial hot take.
We miss you, Luke.
Yeah. I hope you're okay over there, wherever you are. I know we end up really loving Donkey and Dragon together, and they like end up very happy together. There's like a definitive like undercurrent of implied sexual violence that's gonna happen to Donkey.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like fighting for his life. I don't know if I like concretely picked that up as a child, but it's kind of like, you know, in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Dennis is talking about like getting a boat so he can get women on the boat, and he's like, they can't leave, so it's implied, like that kind of thing. But yeah, maybe don't threaten cartoon characters with sexual violence for a kids movie. That's my hot take.
Yeah. My hot take also involves Dragon, and it's using Dragon to destroy the church must have been so fucking traumatic for Fiona, given that she's been held captive by the dragon for years, and it's like she's been enjoying her 3 days of like seeing trees and like fresh air and all that, and then all of a sudden this fucking dragon is back and it's gonna take me away.
Yeah,
like,
she doesn't know that.
She doesn't know that it's there to save the day.
Mine's kind of lame, but it's the only thing I can think of, and I think it's only controversial at this table. But I had it because it's not meant to be a controversial hot take, but it will be. I would put Shrek as my 100th favorite film of all time, and I mean that in a complimentary way, as in like that's the bar for film. Like if I had to, I've never sat down and list. I've made like my top 10. I think I've done my top 25 films of all time, but I've never sat down and did my top 100. I don't think I ever will, because that sounds like a lot of time that I don't have.
Yeah, and also it's making that list that everyone's gonna be like, wow, Javi, here's that pat on the back. You sure did that, bud.
Right. Like, two people were going to comment on, I posted on my story, and they're like, oh, cool, man. It's awesome.
One of them sitting at this table.
Yeah. But I feel like Shrek is, I guess that's my overall thing, is like Shrek is kind of like the bar for filmmaking, and like if you're not at least, as good as Shrek, probably not going to watch you.
Yeah, just don't do it.
Like
it's the benchmark.
Yeah.
I think it would be higher up if I were to do 100 movies, because...
Right, well, that's what I figured, because I was like, for me, I'm like, I have 99 films that are better than Shrek, and that's where I thought maybe Lauren might be like, I don't know if there's 99 films better than Shrek.
Oh, I'm sure there are, and, different folks have, different opinions.
Absolutely.
It's such a subjective thing in a personal relationship. As controversial as you usually are, Javi, that's pretty smooth sailing we're going.
99 favorites and a Shrek ain't one. If you haven't donkey problems, I feel bad for you, son. We got Blue Velvet meets Blue's Clues. What would you guys mash Shrek with up? Wow, the gin. What would you, I'm not going to edit any of this because it's going to be great. What would you do with Shrek? What would what fun film would you pair it with? Put it together?
I had a hard time with this one, but I ended up settling with Shrek meets Sausage Party, and only because, I mean, I don't want Shrek to go full, like, raunchy, like, gnarly, but, like, I feel like I think I would like to see a version of that that's a little bit, pushed a little bit more into that territory. Maybe just with, like, I don't need Shrek dropping the F-bomb, but maybe just a little bit more profanity, maybe just a little bit with the dirtier jokes, you know? Like, that's not something that I need in my life, but that's something that I would like to see. Like, I'd be interested to see, like, what... Maybe Shrek pushing like a hard PG-13.
I was going to say, I like that. I never made it through Sausage Party because, like...
I loved Sausage. I'm going to be honest.
I've never made it through. I hit, like, I think 5 minutes and I was like, fuck, I don't know if I can do this one. I think Shrek is one of those things that, like, I like my animation to toe the line. Yeah. I don't necessarily need it to cross it because 80% of the time when you cross the line, there's only, like, just few things that have actually done it successfully. But it's, like, usually you just get to the point where it's, like, bad blend of, like, childish humor and, like, raunchiness. And so it's, like, yeah. It's such a delicate balance. I had Shrek meets Scream.
What the?
Well, think about it. They both use the same trope-crushing energy. So why not bring Ghostface to Dulock?
Oh, wait.
So you're bringing Ghostface into the animated world as a killer.
Exactly. But it's like toned down, so like you don't see any of the gutting. Like it's just like Donkey being like, "That's a travesty. What happened here?" No. Like
the princesses start getting picked off like one by one.
Exactly. So it's kind of more like, I would say it's less Scream, more Adventure Timey, like where it is like, the princesses are being like, done away with kind of thing.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
And then it turns out that it's, like Gingy or something like that, because it's always somebody in the inner circle in Scream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't really have anything for this. They could go for a prequel, honestly.
Yeah?
Just have some more fun. Live in the world a little bit more.
I know. I have no idea what the plot of Shrek 5 is, but I think a prequel would actually be nice because, seeing like you said, like the original idea of Shrek, like teenage Shrek with his parents and shit.
Yeah.
That could be kind of fun.
That could be kind of fun. I think you could also like shoehorn in like, multiple plots of seeing young Fiona or young Donkey or something like that. And I like this world. Yeah, always go for more of that like fairy tale like lore.
Here comes Kanye. You guys got any pluggables?
Go see live theater in your area. Support the arts.
Yeah. I just have this wonderful show. We are getting high up, like this show can almost apply for Social Security. We've got a lot of episodes now, so y'all should listen to them. Do we call Jules and Vincent? Wow, Jesus Christ. Note, PSA to the listeners, don't drink onion gin at 10 in the morning. It apparently ruins your day. Do we call Jules and Vincent? Is it worth a rewatch? Absolutely. You let this live with bells on. Javi said it's in his, top 100. Mm-hmm. Clearly holds near and dear to Lauren's heart. Mm-hmm. I fucking love this movie.
No question. Hands down.
Question.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. I think I can confidently say it would be a huge red flag if somebody was like, not like in the middle about it, but if someone was like, I don't like Shrek.
Oh, yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, what happened to you?
Don't call me.
Yeah. Lose my fucking number.
Which brings us to The Goose and Fern presents the Sonic Death Monkey Top 5. And for today's Top 5, we have, what are your top 5 movie characters you are kicking out of your swamp? These folks get a no-go.
I'll start with my number 5. Just low-hanging fruit in a way, but may also be surprising coming from me, because as the world's biggest fucking defender of Star Wars and lover of Star Wars original 6 movies, I can separate the annoying characters from the art, and I would have number 5 Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my swamp.
Yeah.
Also, it's 2024, bro. We can't be doing stereotypes of slaves. It's not okay.
Yeesh. This is like a list, that I did this morning. Pure instinct, My first one, my number 5 is Mia Wallace from Pulp Fiction. Seems like a bad hang, steals your drugs, and then ODs. So,
yeah. And then she's also got a spooky husband that's going to beat your ass.
Yeah. I don't want to hang out with her. Get the fuck out of the swamp.
Can't give her a foot massage.
Can't do nothing.
No. Can't tickle it or nothing. My number 5 is Ferris Bueller. From Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's a self-centered little prick. And he definitely peaked in high school. And he's just going to, try to get you to steal your dad's car. And, he doesn't... Stay out of my swamp, bro.
My number 4, I have Alan from The Hangover. Most clueless fucking person on the planet. And he's better at blackjack than I am, so that would piss me off.
And he's going to fucking roofie you.
Yeah, he's going to roofie me. Yeah, and then...
Or floor you. Sorry, floor you.
My number 4 would be, this person may feel very at home, so it may be a hard eviction, but it's Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Very bad vibes.
Yeah.
Annoying, mean, violent, possessed by an evil ring. Don't want to hang out with him. Get out of my swamp.
Yeah, my number 4 is Ruby Rod from The Fifth Element. I think for the first 10 minutes, I'd be starstruck. I'd be like, bro, that's Chris Tucker. And then after 10 minutes, I'd be like, damn it, it's Chris Tucker. It's a strong donkey energy, but donkeys at least like Eddie Murphy. So you're like, all right, we could talk about Saturday Night Live, I guess.
Yeah. My number 3 might be a super controversial one, generally. Maybe not outside this room, but generally. My number 3, I have Tony Stark, a.k.a. Iron Man, from the Iron Man films.
Not controversial at all. I do not like Robert Downey Jr. I think that's more controversial.
I like Robert Downey Jr., but I don't like him as Iron Man. I never did since day one. His smarmy little, like, it's fine for like 5-10 minutes, and then after that, I'm like, and I understand what they were doing. I understand, it's got to subvert the hero stereotype, but I can't. I cannot.
I think you guys are going more with like annoying potentially people. Mine is taking like a distinctively darker turn in the second half of like people that I like really wouldn't want to hang out with. So for my number 3, I'm going from Frank Booth from Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Real bad hang. I think.
Bad hang.
Upsetting, creepy, violent. Bad guy.
Yeah.
He's a bad hombre.
He's a bad hombre. Anyone that says baby wants to fuck, cannot be in the inner circle.
Yeah. Out of the swamp.
Yeah, my number 3 is Ernest from the Ernest film series, such as Ernest Goes to Jail, Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Goes to Africa. He just never shuts up. Like, I feel like he would ask me, for the 89th time, know what I mean? And I'd be like, yes, I know what you fucking mean.
Which we will do an Ernest film at some point for you listeners.
That's
it's coming. We'll get there.
That's one of my suggestions for spooky season.
Right.
I want to do Ernest Scared Stupid. I think that'd be really fun.
For my number 2, kind of a cop-out answer because it's not a character per se, but and I've said this before in a previous episode, any character that Guy Pearce has ever played in a movie.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking hate fucking Guy Pearce. I cannot stand Guy Pearce in any shape or form. I don't know what it is. I can't quantify. I can't tell you why. Anytime his face is on screen, I hope his character gets killed off quickly.
My number 2 is Antoine from No Country for Old Men. He's a murderous sociopath with a bad haircut, so I don't want to have him in my swamp.
You do not want to share your swamp with me?
No. No, thank you.
Yeah, my number 2 is Billy Madison from the film Billy Madison. Look, my swamp is a safe space, okay? I'm happy with having some transgender wolves, some blind mice, some openly gay European pigs. Totally fine. But I draw the line at annoying, short-tempered man-children. I ain't got time for that shit. And I'm not going to put you on a pedestal for graduating 6th grade, bro. Sorry, just not going to do it.
It's a good one. I'm surprised there wasn't more Adam Sandler characters on.
It was hard not to make this whole list, Adam Sandler.
Sure. And you didn't pick low-hanging fruit. You could have picked plenty of other characters.
Waterboy's pretty rough.
For my number 1, I have the motherfucking Minions. Ooh. I cannot fucking stand the fucking Minions. I am sorry. I can't. I had to. I have seen like 3/4 of a cumulative of 3/4 of like all 4 Minions films. As in, I've seen like a quarter from one film, like an eighth from another, and I cannot. And actually, I just realized that statement is a lie because I had to take my kids from work to see whatever the 4th Despicable Me movie was, the one that just came out recently.
Rise of Gru.
Right, that's that. Yeah. No,
that's the 3rd one, I think.
Yeah, that was the 3rd one. Yeah, whatever the 4th one was. And so I had to. It was work related. I had to sit there. I had to sit in that movie theater, and I did not have a good time.
I think I've only seen the first Despicable Me maybe a long time ago, so I'm aware of like the cultural impact of the Minions. I don't understand it personally, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm right there with you. I despise them, and I have put my foot down. I've never seen a Despicable Me film because I just do not like them, and I do not support them.
Yeah.
Wow.
A big old sign in my swamp. No minions will be shot on sight.
That's right.
Wow.
I will be protected by the law.
Wow.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. You've just got like a skeleton of one hanging.
My number one is like, this is like a deep-seated one from like earlier years in life. It's Dolores Umbridge from the Harry Potter movies, which is just has the like double-edged sword of like being a very annoying character, but she's also like one of those characters who's so insidious and like harmful because she's a fucking zealot, like piece of shit bitch. I feel strongly. And yeah. I think she's like one of the worst movie characters of all time. So I don't want her in my swamp.
My number one, and you can use this
Uh-huh.
at my trial. My number one is Pestario from the film The Pest. Holy shit, I will shoot John Leguizamo on sight if he sets foot in my swamp. That movie, yeah.
We still have to do that one.
We have to do that on the
I
podcast.
literally have not seen that movie since I was
Is that the one that you showed me?
14. That's the last time I saw it. And I would love to watch it again.
I tried to show Lauren the trailer for that movie because we kicked around doing that as like an episode recently, and Lauren could not make it through the trailer. She left the room.
Yeah.
It was
I bet.
intensely cringe.
Oh, yeah. As a child, it was cringe. That's why I'm also like, I had like a neighbor kid who was like a pseudo friend that really liked that movie. Yeah, bro, I could not. Like, he would put that on, and I'd just be like, 10 years old, and I would be like fuming. I'd be like, can we go outside and play? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
The
one.
Pest. Thank you for listening, if you're still listening. I have been Chuck Starzenski.
I have been Javier Martinez.
I've been Lauren Heney.
And we have been the Nostalgia Killers.
Bang,
Bang, bang.